Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Welcome to another corporate events coverage, and this time around, BATV is on location at the Bank of Jamaica Auditorium, ready to bring you highlights from day one of the two-day conference dubbed A Call to Action, Driving Financial Inclusion with Digital Payments. I'm Javon Keys, and I'll be your host. Stay with us.
The DBJ is really proud to be associated with this event, with a focus that we have on driving the economy by looking at the role that we all have to play in championing Jamaica through each of our line of businesses, each sector, and each person. It is indeed appropriate, I think, that the theme of this conference is a call to action. Each representative in this room was not invited by coincidence. It was by assessing the vision that as to where we are, where we need to be, and who are the instrumental players needed to help us in this journey. And so it makes sense that the DBJ and the Bank of Jamaica would collaborate in this area. The DBJ, as most of you probably know, is mandated to provide opportunities for all Jamaicans, regardless of their social status, to improve the quality of their lives through developmental financing. The Bank of Jamaica is responsible for creating and managing the monetary policy that affects every Jamaican and every financial institution in the country. Therefore, coming together to hold a conference on financial inclusion and digital payments we see as a logical development of our relationship with the BOJ. But why is financial inclusion so important and digital payments that it merits a two-day conference? I believe it is important because when you look at the world's poor, including many Jamaicans, they live and work in what is known as the informal economy. Yet even though they have very little money, they still manage to save, borrow, and meet their day-to-day expenses. However, without access to the formal financial system that allows savings account, debit card, insurances, lines of credit, they rely instead on informal means of managing money. And these include, as we all know, family, friends, cash on hand, pawnbrokers, money lenders, or simply keeping it under the mattress. But, as we all know, these choices are almost always inefficient, risky, and expensive. And therefore, we encourage those who are regarded as the unbanked to become a part of the formal financial system, as it will provide benefits to the individual as well as on a national level. Simply put, we become part of something that is so much bigger.
My presentation this morning focused on financial inclusion, which really, and in particular, how do we get that significant section of our economy that is unbanked into the formal financial system. A significant part of our economy, of the persons who contribute to our economy, are still in the informal sector. We need to get them into the formal sector so they can access the benefits that would come with being a part of the formal financial system. So our role really is to encourage them, to educate them, to show them the benefits that can be derived from being a part of the formal sector. And in so doing, utilize the payment mechanisms that is going to be discussed here today. For example, the whole matter of mobile payments, digital payments, and other benefits that they would derive from coming into the formal financial system.
We are convinced that through this conference we can begin to build awareness and continue the conversation about the issues and challenges that must be resolved as we strive to develop and provide payment products and services to satisfy the needs of the average Jamaican consumer. We also see the need for tailored financial literacy programs that are integral to Jamaica's transition to the status of a digital economy. Over the next 2 days, we will engage in vibrant discussions on how innovations in electronic retail payments can impact Jamaica's development and how regulation can foster innovation. We will take an in-depth look at the risks and opportunities associated with digital payments and, most importantly, discuss how public-private partnerships can create a sustainable ERPS ecosystem. We will hear from our authorized ERPS issuers, their experience with electronic retail payments. We will also hear from a micro entrepreneur on how electronic payments can help to grow his business. It is anticipated that arising from these discussions, we will all have a renewed commitment to the development of the ecosystem to promote the use of digital products and to unlock the potential economic benefits associated with increased digitization of the economy. Ladies and gentlemen, I declare the conference open, and with the wish that our deliberations will be fruitful. Thank you very much.
Driving financial inclusion through digital payments, that's what we're about today. The idea is to bring the regulators, the facilitators, along with some of the business partners into the discussion. And coming out of the dialogue today, hopefully we'll have a clear idea as to some of the challenges that are being faced by the various stakeholders. And we here at the Bank of Jamaica, we're about fashioning regulatory strategies to enable business, enable the growth and development of the financial sector. And we think that through engagement of our stakeholders, we will get certain insights which will assist us in discharging our responsibilities as a higher level of effectiveness. Well, the second day is going to be a little more of the same, but looking at perspectives of different stakeholder groups. Tomorrow, what we want to do is pay a little bit more attention to some of the options, the opportunities that are available as we seek to unlock the growth potential in the sector. I think the major challenge that we face is designing products and services that satisfy the needs of the average consumer. And I think that has to be an area of focus for us. I'm not convinced that the taxi operator, for example, has the products and services that he needs to be more efficient and to reduce his cost. I'm not convinced. And I think that there are opportunities for us to, better serve the needs of consumers such as the taxi operator. And I'm hoping that coming out of the discussions over the next 2 days, that we'll be exploring those, issues.
And on that note, we go to a break. Stay with us. Much more after this.
It's Season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Now let's join our presenter on stage.
The strategy of mobile payments, we think, is a win-win for financial inclusion. And let me explain a little bit this. If there is a country that goes directly to mobile payments without having gone through the previous stages of digital finance or buying through the internet, through traditional landlines, through the internet providers in general, we see internationally that the improvements go 10 times faster. So digital payments, mobile payments have two interesting notions for consumers. One, that they provide payments in real time. Second, that are cheaper. What's there not to like, right? And what do we think is a win-win strategy for the different actors? First, for the unbanked, of course. If you do not have a banking account, and I've heard that roughly in Jamaica maybe it can be around 80% of the population, 70, 80%. But nevertheless, almost 100% have a mobile phone. So that brings opportunities, right? They will see that by starting paying over the phone, they are building a data, and they exist in the virtual economy of financial transactions. So they can be later provided with some insurance or offered some small credit line to buy electronically, and that's what happened precisely in China, where the e-commerce has brought all these payments. It's a win-win strategy for digital financial providers, and we saw that we are not talking about the traditional ones, the banks, but also new active players that now they can be interested, like fintech companies, startups, e-commerce, internet providers, to finance and to bank this new market share that represents almost 80% here. For the public sector, because they can use it also to different things. I mean, people can use it to pay taxes. The public sector can use it to provide benefits, welfare benefits through the digital accounts, and to other ends. So Bill Gates already said in 1995, we need banking, not banks. Interesting. That's what's happening now. Banking is not a monopoly of the banks. It's a much bigger concept now. So we've seen in the recent years that this has been very true, because we've seen the fintech activities, so the advancement of technology and the open platforms has made possible that new players come to offer financial services.
Banking is it's a concept that is changing. So banks are working from traditional banking to digital banks and other actors that are coming. Bill Gates said in 1995, we need banking, not banks, and this is becoming very true. I mean, we see a lot of financial disintermediation and fintechs, big techs, internet giants getting into the financial sector. That's from observance to what's going on in China, in India, and in other countries. This is a win-win strategy for consumers, for unbanked population, because they see that they can have access to more products. If start doing payments, then they can build transactional data, and this data is embedded into the system, and they can be sold other products. And this is a win-win strategy for the digital financial services providers because they have access to population that has mobile phones, but they don't have a bank account. And finally, this is a win-win strategy for regulators because they can use these systems also to provide welfare benefits, payments, payrolls, and they can be used to pay taxes. And so the traditional concept of banking is changing. And if the countries like Jamaica that didn't have a previous digital strategy that includes using landline services, it is well researched that the countries that go mobile first or mobile only, the improvements are 10 times faster, which is good news also. In terms of safety, it's very important to collaborate with the financial inclusion programs. They collaborate with financial literacy. They need to be aware of what are the different methods that they can use, and it's driven also by a good, like the Bank of Jamaica is doing and has in their agenda to promote financial literacy, to promote the use of these new ways to conduct business and through the mobile in a safe way for consumers, in the sense that they can avoid fraud, or they cannot be hacked, or they cannot be put at risk. So they need to know better how to do it. But having been said, these are very easy to use ways. So for example, the social media messaging apps like WhatsApp is getting into payments. So what they are trying to do is to be very friendly used, and the consumer is at the center of the product. So you can use your app to pay, to buy cinema tickets, to use for taxes, to pay your taxes, to different things. So they are trying to do it so that it's very user-friendly.
We take our final break, but don't go anywhere. We have more highlights for you after this.
As the end of the year draws nigh and the celebrations begin, let us add some magic to the festivities with our BATV Christmas mix. Why settle for blah when you can have fa-la-la-la-la? 60 advertising spots, 10 cross spots. This $1.6 million package is all yours for only $45,000. Don't wait. Contact our sales team today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Our gift to you. BATV Christmas Mix. Offer valid until December 31, 2018.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point with Kalila Reynolds and Dennis Chung. Dissecting the issues. Offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On point. Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
We are serious about the business of real estate, so catch Home Sweet Home Sundays at 4:30 p.m. or if you missed it, check our website at batvja.com.
Thanks for staying with us. Now for more highlights.
GKMPay really have quite a few functionalities, and I think one of the things I've learned this morning is the use of collaboration, because I can see how easily we can collaborate with SMEs and other persons here. So basically, our functionalities allow us to load remittances to phone, and we must say here that we're one of the only mobile payment solution that can do that. So for instance, you walk into our Western Union location, and you can load the cash that you would now take out of that location onto your phone. Right? So the functionality, as you see, is there. We do telephone top-up, so you can top up your phone, whether it's Line, Digicel, Flow. You can also pay your bills, because as I would have said earlier, we have a bill payment entity. So you can pay from any one of our existing biller listing. We have peer-to-peer transactions where you can send money to other persons. So I'm here today, I need to pay my helper, how do I pay her? I basically send her her transfer. If you notice, we talked also about what is going to make the customer change. Our portal allows us to have rewards. So basically, if you sign on as a merchant, you can offer discounts. So why use GKMPay? You also have rewards. So if you look, you see a number 2 there. It means currently when you would open your phone and look at your phone, you basically have 2 coupons there from 2 merchants that you can now redeem. I think it's important that we talk about security because it was also mentioned the issue of lack of trust. Why should I use my phone? Is it safe? In developing our product, that was something we had to take into consideration. So in terms of using it, you have a PIN. You have to use a PIN to get on. You have to use a PIN to complete your payment. When you go into our self-serve portal, which is again helping you to basically help yourself through this new journey that you're on in terms of becoming digital, there is a self-serve or customer portal that is self-serve. And of course, it's encrypted. If you leave your phone, it's locked, right? If you lose your phone, you do not lose your money. And I think that's also very important that we have to educate our consumers on. If you lose your phone, it's even safer than if you have lost your wallet or if you have lost your credit cards or your debit card. There's not this long process. You call the call center and you reactivate your phone. So the issue of security and development was integral in terms of the platform that we developed. So what were some of the challenges we were facing in terms of GKMPay? And I heard it again from the previous presenter. The idea of educating our customers. There is still this lack of trust for the technology. You know, do I really trust that my money is going to be on my phone, that I'm going to be able to use it when and where I want to use it? What if I lose it? So how do we truly get our customers to embrace this new technology? We also have to educate them that it's safer, you know, to use the phone. I have in the audience, we invited the head of the Taxi Association here today, Alan Blair, right? And one of the things we've been saying is, as taxi men, collecting, how is it safe for you to be on the road all time of night with money on your body? So we're also promoting safety, but still we were having a challenge. So customers, merchants were really not accepting that this is a new norm. So we have launched GKMPay. I want to go to KFC, but KFC is saying, what is GKMPay? What's in it for me? And the customers are saying, I can't go anywhere and cash out, so why should I get GKMPay? So again, it was interesting to see the 2 approaches in terms of top-down, bottom-up, and which do we think is best for Jamaica, because there's going to have to be, I believe, a regulatory push to get persons on board, right? So the issue of onboarding our merchants, our agents, our customers is truly a challenge. Which come first, the chicken or the egg? So what do we need? We definitely need education, public awareness, not only of our customers, but also our consumers. We really, again, I said, would like to thank the BOJ for this type of symposium because we do think it's building awareness. However, we think it has to go much more than that. It has to reach to the public in terms of saying, I have confidence in this system. I'm validating this new payment system for Jamaica. It's how Jamaica is truly going to have a digital economy. So we truly need that endorsement from the Bank of Jamaica. We need integration with our payment system, with our banking system. So if you think about it, the taxi man, he collects his $100,000 for the night. What does he want to do? And we talk about financial inclusion. He wants to put that money in his bank account, right? So right now, he would have to go and cash out. We're saying he should be able to go to FGB, NCB, and lodge his monies to his bank account. And we think this is another integral takeaway of a symposium like this. We really need our consumer to be able to be bankable. And if we talk about true financial empowerment, true financial inclusion, this is the way we're going to get it. One of the things, and I said review of the wallet size, one of the things we also say is if we have our taxi man lodging these funds every day to his bank, he can get his GKMPay statement. Why can't he use that statement to say, this is my source of income? You know, this is my true, legitimate source of income. Whether it is to get a small loan, whether it's to get a loan for his daughter to go to college, we don't know. But these type of forward thinking is really what we need when we start talking about digital payments.
Okay, Quisk is NCB's solution, NCB's mobile wallet offering. Essentially is a way that you can make a payment or receive payment without either plastic, and it's you use your phone number in order to you can use your phone number, go to the ABM and can do cash out from the ABM, or you can make a payment at a merchant. So if you were to go to a merchant and instead of swiping your card or insertion of your card, you enter your 10-digit phone number, then your 6-digit password, and then you can pay for your goods or services. So, and you can also do peer-to-peer transfers. So if we go to, let's say a group of us go to dinner and we go Dutch, we can just transfer all the funds to one person, and then that person can make the payment on the NCB terminal to pay for the dinner. We launched Quisk in 2016, and we've seen increased interest because of a number of changes we've made to the product, and we made it a little easier as well for customers. So we see where there's been significant increase, and we have a number of quick service restaurants. So we've increased the offering, we've built out the ecosystem, and we continue to build out this ecosystem. So customers are seeing increase in value in NCB Quisk. Just about every merchant who has NCB terminals, you would be able to access Quisk. So for the newer merchants, they're signed up automatically with Quisk. But for merchants who have been in our system for a long time, we continue to go through the process of adding Quisk to their terminals. So if there's any merchant that you'd like to use Quisk and you're not seeing where they have Quisk at this time, we can easily add them, because the same machine that any of our merchants have can process KeyCard, MasterCard, Visa card, can process multi-link debit card, process Amex, China Union Pay, Discover, JCB cards, and of course NCB Quisk. So the merchants don't require to have an additional terminal. So it's the same terminal that process all debit and credit card transactions that process Quisk right now.
The unbanked constitutes over 500,000 people, and we want to get them included. The government's policy of financial inclusion, and that's our aim. Our product is not as, what should I say, invasive as when you go to try and open a bank account. We have the Bank of Jamaica guidelines for the card, which is not as stringent. It's once you collect remittance from abroad, it's the same process. So it's not very difficult, but the difficulty is going to be education. How do you convince people who are not used to a product and what they perceive as a bank product? How do they get access to it? And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to find ways to make it simple and fast. I think it's very timely, because without financial inclusion, the economy cannot grow. If you have half your population unbanked and doesn't have access to financial services, which means credit, just a regular bank account to do transactions, it's very, very difficult to maximize your potential. We went to a card product as opposed to the mobile wallet. Our products can also use mobile technology, but it's just an educational process, and that's long and hard. To convince somebody to put your money on a device like a phone, it's not an easy thing to persuade people to do. They don't have any confidence in it. They have never seen it, and how do you convince them that it is safe and this is going to be a very convenient tool? But over time, I believe Jamaicans are very technology savvy and hungry, and we hope that over time we'll have that.
That brings us to the end of part one of our two-part coverage of the Driving Financial Inclusion with Digital Payments Conference. Until next time, I'm Javon Keys. Stay tuned to Business Access TV, serious about business.
I'm Don Webick, Group CEO of Grace Kennedy. You are watching Business Access, serious about business.
Today we come to you from one of the island's natural harbors. It's awash with the stories from our indigenous settlers and the colonial powers. One that sits in an era that boasts of being the capital city of our country. Welcome to Kingston, welcome to the waterfront. It's National Heritage Week, and as always, we're happy you join us. Hi, I'm Theodore Henry, and on today's edition of Jamaica Magazine, we go up the road and round the corner to the parish of Portland. We'll also be taking a walk down memory lane with Nanny of the Maroons and so much more. So as always, join in the celebrations, man. Enjoy our offerings. Do stay with us.
Secondary level students enter the poster competition with digital or illustrated pieces, and tertiary level students, the photo competition is for you.
The topic for the poster and photo competition is Jamaica's music, the stage for growth and development. All entries must be submitted by Sunday, October 28th.
For additional information, visit the JS website at www.js.gov.jm. Email heritageposter, heritagephoto, all at js.gov.jm.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, October 10. There has been a significant improvement in the case disposal rates of the courts. This refers to the ratio of new cases disposed of in the same period within which they were filed.
So when we look at the case disposal rates in the corporate area and in the Westmoreland Parish Court, they have the highest disposal rates of 62% to 63%.
The Justice Minister gave the update in Parliament Tuesday, citing the Chief Justice's statistics reports for the Parish Courts of Jamaica for the period January to June 2018. He told the House that the progress in the case disposal rates was proving to be a catalyst for improving the case clearance rates across parish courts.
The case clearance rate is a ratio of new cases filed to cases completed, regardless of when those cases commenced. The overall clearance rate for the second quarter of 2018, this is the last quarter, was 98%, an improvement of 9 percentage points over the first quarter. Although these results indicate that there are still more new cases filed than cases disposed of across the parish courts, the overall direction is quite positive for the reduction of the criminal case backlog.
An additional 500 cameras have been procured under the Jamaica Eye program and will be installed over the coming months. Senior Director for Modernization and Strategic Projects in the Ministry of National Security, Arvell Grant, gave that update during a meeting of the Rotary Club of St. Andrew North on Monday. He said 400 CCTV cameras had already been mounted in public spaces across the island. By early next year, 1,000 cameras should be installed and fully integrated into the system. Jamaica Eye, which was launched in March, is a public-private partnership designed to network CCTV cameras owned by the ministry, as well as accommodate feeds from privately owned cameras. The feeds will provide useful footage in relation to criminal activities and other emergencies and will be monitored by a team of security professionals. government will be rolling out an education campaign on the impending ban on the importation, manufacture, distribution and use of specific categories of plastic packaging materials. Government Senator Matthew Samuda says the campaign will, among other things, highlight alternative packaging options.
There is nothing that the government has banned that does not already have existing alternatives in the marketplace. It would be improper of the government to push one alternative versus another. I think through the public education campaign it will come out as to the varying alternatives that are there.
Mr. Samuda made the disclosure during Friday's sitting of the Senate. The ban, which starts January 1, 2019, relates to single-use plastic bags, expanded polystyrene foam, commonly referred to as styrofoam, and plastic drinking straws. It does not apply to bags used to maintain public health or food safety standards, such as those utilized to package raw meats, flour, sugar, rice, and baked goods, such as bread. Senator Samuda says discussions are being held with local companies regarding funding to retool their operations in order to manufacture more environmentally safe products. The University of Technology and the Bureau of Standards have signed a Memorandum of Understanding for the incorporation of metrology into the science and engineering curricula at UTech. The MOU will support the development of curricula for undergraduate and graduate programs, providing tertiary students with training and awareness sessions, along with access to resource materials in the completion of projects and research. President of UTech, Professor Stephen Vassiani, says the importance of the science measurements cannot be overstated, and the university recognizes the importance of ensuring students' competence.
UTech Jamaica wholeheartedly welcomes the Bureau of Standards on board for this collaboration, which will enable the incorporation of metrology and the introduction of the rudiments of standards and quality into the engineering and science curricula.
The MOU was signed last Thursday at the university's Pepin campus. And finally, the statue of Jamaican Olympian Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce will be unveiled this Sunday, October 14, at Statue Park in the National Stadium. Sport Minister Olivia Grange says the unveiling of the statue was timed to coincide with the commemoration of Heritage Week, as Shelly-Ann is one of Jamaica's modern-day heroes, whose accomplishments are an inspiration for the entire nation. She says the statue will be unveiled by Prime Minister Andrew Holness during a special ceremony starting at 4 p.m. The minister is inviting the public to attend the ceremony and witness the unveiling of the bronze statue. Shelly-Ann's statue, which was designed by renowned Jamaican sculptor Basil Watson, is the second to be completed under the Jamaica 55 Legacy Program. The first was of world record holder and Olympic champion Usain Bolt. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
I'm Chef Martin McGinley, Executive Chef at Round Hill Resort and Spa. And I started cooking at 15, and I'm continuing to cook now. So that's close to 35 years now. My main focus is LCCC, Light, Clean, Caribbean Cuisine. That's what I stand by, that's what we look for, and that's what we demonstrate here at Round Hill. A lot of clients who come here, they know what they come for. You know, they come for a lifestyle. They come to eat the purest food, they come to relax. So our expectations are very high. Well, Jamaica has the big, bold flavors. You know, we have the Scotch bonnet, you have the jerk, the ginger's real spicy, and everything's super fresh. You know, fresh is when you're able to pick it and you're able to use it at the same time. I have a program here at Round Hill called See, Touch, and Taste, where we're able to take the guests to our organic garden. They get to see it, they get to touch it, and we bring it back to the kitchen and get to taste it. That's fresh. Now, when you working with the freshest ingredients and freshest product, it takes you to the next level. Why come to Jamaica? To experience the people, the culture, and the food. Because it is unbelievable when you're able to come to an island and get all those three things wrapped into one. It's amazing. And they got great beaches and sunshine is here too as well.
As we reflect on the real significance of National Heritage Week, it's only a given that we bring you stories from our national heroes. Take a look.
Morte. My name is Marcia Douglas, currently the acting colonel of the Charlestown Maroon Community, the Chief.
Welcome to our museum.
So the role of Nanny of the Maroon in Freedom for the Maroon is that she provide, or she make herself into the diligent leader that one would have been looking for. One with spirituality, one with the zeal of moving on, and one with the zeal to protect. And so what she did was to ensure that her people had been served the right way, in which she ensures that they were no longer in slavery. So what she did was to undermine the British on the plantation with the help of her two sisters, Mishibo Kwashi and Shanti Rose. And so doing that, they took their people to the mountains where they had an advantage over the British. The British had to import dogs or bloodhounds from Cuba to hunt them down. Now later on, when the treaty was signed and Jamaica gained independence, it was really a hard tussle for people to recognize Nanny for who she was. Thanks to recent Colonel Harris of Moortown, who had made that one of his deepest dream and one of his aims, one of the most sustainable things that he was going to work on, so that Nanny could have been today the national heroine of Jamaica.
Coffee was introduced to Jamaica in 1728. Creighton Estate was established around 1765, and the Blue Mountain Range and the central region of Jamaica, which is the Grand Ridge of Jamaica, were the major coffee producing regions. Currently, we are fully certified under the Rainforest Alliance, and we are the very first entity in the Caribbean region to attain that certification. Now, the Blue Mountain Range of Jamaica is a microclimate of the island and has provided the perfect conditions for growing the Arabica coffee. A typical day in the Blue Mountain, the most sunlight is in the mornings from about 11:32 to 4 p.m. You know, this is the weather that we experience. This is a norm in the Blue Mountain. It's nothing unusual, you know, for the range to be covered with mist. And after sunset, the temperature basically goes below 20 degrees Celsius. So those are the perfect ingredients to develop high quality coffee. You know, the culture here is rich. We're an extremely creative, you know, set of people. In Jamaica, there's everything. If you're a nature lover, we have it. If you like the wetlands, we have it. You know, great coffee, you know, great food. You know, God has been good to us. You know, the God has been good to us. The universe has been good to us, you know, as a country. You know, and, this rock, I love it, man. I love it.
How much do you know about the national fruit of our country? Watch as we share with you some of the stories of the Ackee.
Give me back me soap and blue. Give me back me soap and blue.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. Guess me this riddle and perhaps not. My father have 3 pickaninnies, and the whole of them head black. Aye, aye, aye.
1 father, 3 pickaninnies, 3 blackhead pickaninnies. What could that be?
So short them can't wash.
Over here, so. Over here, so. Boy, them ya nowadays people no love read, you know. And you know, it wasn't always like this. Me say 48 years ago, on a day like today, picnic from country and from town did I make haste to learn the brand new national anthem. Line by line, figure sing and ring in the independence. Me, Me see and hear everything with me on 2 eye. Well, I mean 3. Well, sometimes 4. Ma, me did dip on top of things. I wonder what would have happened if them the picnic they never love read. My father have 3 picnic and the whole of them head black.
Over 420,000 African slaves were taken to the Americas through the West African slave trade scheme. But slaves and sugar weren't the only things bought and sold along the routes. Tobacco, hemp, guns, and rum were very popular trade items. But it says here that on one of those trips to Jamaica in 1778, something strange came ashore in one of the ships. It was a plant, it says, but it wasn't tobacco, it wasn't hemp, or cotton, or sugarcane.
Yes, me know the story quite well. It passed down from one generational seed to the next. My great-great-great-great-grandfather, I mean here, make it to this your land, clutch tight in a few great-great-great-great-great-grandfather hand. Hey.
When mama dear, you say you're sick. When mama gone, you get better.
Oh, so Jamaican herbalists and bush doctors prefer to use various plants and bushes from the island's rich flora over traditional medicines to treat several common illnesses. They have found natural treatments for food poisoning, fever, diarrhea, and even the common cold. So that is why my mother used to force feed me Cersei just before school start, explaining she was giving me a washout. And I remember she used to boil this tea from soursop leaves and give it to me for my colds. And what would you know? They actually worked.
Hi! But what is not this doing? No mention of me in my own country's folk medicine history. Me there so long. People use me to wash them clothes, them use me to scour them pot, shine. And as we treat cold, what soursop leaf can do, me can do it better.
Halle, 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 halle.
Ah, yes. I have fond memories watching the Carri folk singers perform folk song classics like Under the Coconut Tree, Colon Man, Penny Wheelo. But most of all, I just love to hear them sing Me No Drink Coffee Tea, Mango Time. It was so sweet, you could almost taste it.
You see though? Look how long me there. Long before mango. I just watched the mango come out here, you know. Me there from 1778. 232 years now. Me there so long people think of Yassa me come from. Me there so long. Uno know me inside out. Uno pour out me heart every day. And every half mile you walk, you see me standing tall. Uno all give me nickname, make all joke after me. More than that, uno even find a way to cook and eat me. And just because me so common, uno forget me. You know, remember me is my country's favorite thing to sing about.
The things we Jamaicans say. We have a colorful way of putting just about everything, don't we? But wouldn't you agree? Aki is the most colorful of it all. Yes, reading is in fact a good habit to pick up, but I don't need all of this to tell me that Aki is in fact a national treasure. In fact, there was no great debate when George Scott recommended it to then Agriculture Minister John Giles as a national fruit in July 1962.
You're very welcome. Lord, what a night, not a fight.
He had put the question to some of the leading horticulturalists of the time, and the vote came back unanimously in favor of Ackee.
Dynamis!
Ackee is so many things to so many people. Healer, icon, emblem, and of course, good food. Cheese ackee or butter ackee, whichever way you slice it or spread it. I am so into my ackee. And oh, the answer to the riddle, you guessed it, it was ackee. Oh, Lord.
So, we journeyed to the parish of Portland and we brought you back some history and beauty. But don't take our word for it, take a look for yourself.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. Guess me this riddle, and perhaps not. You find it at the northeastern tip of the island, with your 2 feet planted on 814 square kilometers of land. If you're in St. Thomas and look north, you'll see it. And if you're in St. Mary, heading east, you can't miss the street. Walk with us as we journey this natural beauty and explore the stories behind 4 places perfect to the place in this paradisiac Portland. Okay guys, so one of our first stops in Portland is at the Charlestown Maroon Village. This is one of 5 maroon settlements in the island.
Welcome to our museum.
So the museum in Charlestown is one that you can come to know more about the maroon. We are like the Sankofa bird. We go back to our foreparent time, we take things from then, we keep it for today, for the generation to come.
Come see. Come see. Wagwan.
Now this museum came about was fully developed in 2002, but was open to the public in 2003. Some of these pieces were actually at the members of the community's home. Hey, listen, before you leave Portland, you should definitely visit Fort George, which is at the Titchfield Peninsula in Port Antonio.
The Titchfield Peninsula was first occupied by the British in the 17th century, and soon after Fort George was built in 1729.
And this represented the outshoot of what Port Antonio would eventually become. The thing about the fort is that this is where all of the main offices for the parish were housed. The hospital, the courthouse, small little barracks to hold persons who had offended the crown. Now, over the years, what has happened is that the fort itself has evolved, and it evolved into becoming a school.
Wow, can you imagine all the details and eventful stories that this beauty has seen? After you're done touring with us, you should definitely go and check out the history of this place. But right now, we're headed to a place that stands about 45 feet, something that has lit the shore of the Eastern Harbor since 1888 and overlooks the Caribbean Sea that glistens by day. Where can I find the lighthouse?
Yes, darling. Go straight down the road and turn the second turn up on your right. And you go around and turn up on a hill, and you can ask someone.
Thank you.
You're welcome, my friend.
The Folly Point Lighthouse is made of coral and limestone. It has been in operation since 1888 and is still active to this day. Made of bricks, it's fireproof, it offers a beautiful scene and a lovely view of Monkey Island.
In 1871 actually, a gentleman by the name of Captain Lorenzo Dow Baker sailed into Port Antonio. What he did is that he said to the people of Portland when he left, is that no matter how much banana you can plant and cultivate and reap, I can buy them. So that is how the banana industry started in Jamaica. As a result of that, persons were also staying in the parish as part of the world tourist mecca sort of a thing. It became paramount because of the amount of shipping activities that were taking place in the area that a lighthouse will be created.
Now, I did make mention of Monkey Island, and no, there aren't actually any monkeys in this area. But history tells us of a time when some spent a few days at this area. The view alone is something that will pull you in and trap you. Come now. And just by staying with us on this journey, you would have solved the riddle. Because it's not just about where we're at, but what it has to offer. We gave you just a small taste. This Pearl Portland has been absolutely good to us. A natural beauty with many stories to tell.
Students aged 9 to 12 enter the essay competition. Write 500 words on the topic, how has Jamaican music contributed to the country's growth and development?
All entries must be submitted by Sunday, October 28th.
Prizes and surprises await you in the 2018 Jamaica Information Service Heritage Competition.
And that's all we have for you on today's show. But if you missed anything at all, you can watch it all again on our website or our YouTube page. And don't forget to keep up with us via our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages. Remember to join in the Heritage Week celebrations and get your family and friends involved too. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. You take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
As the end of the year draws nigh and the celebrations begin, let us add some magic to the festivities with our BATV Christmas mix. Why settle for blah when you can have fa la 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 la? 60 advertising spots, 10 cross spots. This $1.6 million package is all yours for only $45,000. Don't wait. Contact our sales team today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Our gift to you. BATV Christmas Mix. Offer valid until December 31, 2018.
I'm Diana Williams, CEO of Lifespan Company Limited. You're watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Welcome to part 2 of BATV's coverage of the Driving Financial Inclusion with Digital Payments Conference happening right here at the Bank of Jamaica. I'm your host, Javon Keys, inviting you to stay tuned.
DBJ, in collaboration with the Inter-American Development Bank, has embarked on a program of financial inclusion, or assisting with the development of the and also assisting with the development of the micro, small and medium-sized enterprises. Now, an important part of the conference is to bring awareness to the availability of the relevant technologies that can assist in bringing efficiencies to businesses. So this conference is under the theme Electronic Retail Payments as well as Financial Inclusion, because we're seeking to bring micro and small businesses into the formal sector and for them to understand how they can utilize digital technology to improve their business operations. We think that the conference is timely because we're at a stage now in the market where there are 3 providers of call it non-traditional services, mobile money services, and one in the form of a prepaid MasterCard. Now, as it relates to mobile money, that particular service has been on the market for about 3 or 4 years, but the adoption of mobile money services has been below par. But mobile money has been used in other areas to move persons into the formal sector and to assist in reducing things like transaction costs for businesses. So we think it is timely now that our MSMEs seek to adopt this technology as they move towards improving business efficiency. As it relates to the presenters, we endeavor to bring presenters who are already in the space, persons who are aware of the technology, and persons who could contribute and help in convincing microfinance organizations as well as other stakeholders of the importance of moving Jamaica in this direction.
The idea behind this is really seeking how we can help to develop the ecosystem for digital payments to encourage more persons to actually use it as a means of engaging with regulated financial institutions or regulated payment system providers. The thinking behind it is that you have to understand the customer's perspective, remove the pain points, understand the provider's perspective, and facilitate the flow of business and funding. Because this financial inclusion project is part of a broader project to empower Jamaicans to actually engage in the global economy. First of all, I think we need to redefine ourselves. I think we limit ourselves unnecessarily. Jamaicans, and Jamaica is actually on the cusp of becoming first world. We're an upper middle income country. We have sacrificed greatly in terms of financial sector reform. So what you see in the ERPS guidelines, the Electronic Retail Payment Services guidelines, is the creation of the regulatory framework which speaks to consumer protection, speaks to agents, speaks to the nature of the product design, and we go through a rigorous assessment of the product, which means that when a consumer now uses an authorized ERPS product, they have confidence that Bank of Jamaica has looked at the issue, looked at fit and proper, looked at the agent network, and even looked at the mechanisms to protect the consumer. So, of course, data protection is critical, but what also needs to be remembered at each point is that this is a means of facilitating payments. So we have tiered levels because we understand that the transaction volume and the value of each transaction is important to the individual customer. So it's all being done from a customer perspective as well as ensuring you develop the ecosystem. We are about empowering Jamaicans and empowering our financial institutions and providers by bringing them together in a forum where we can speak about the areas that need to be improved upon and addressed. And the main takeaway for the Jamaicans would be that we can actually use digital payments to facilitate business and facilitate it easily with confidence, knowing the payment will go through, knowing that it will reach its intended recipient, and knowing that you have confidence at the end of the day, your wallet, your mobile wallet is in fact operating as it should to protect you.
I was presenting on public-private partnerships and how its impact can influence a successful ecosystem for electronic retail payments. The main takeaway points is that the private sector, in assisting the government to achieve national financial inclusion strategy, cannot do it on its own. There has to be a substantial investment by the government itself to advance financial inclusion. This conference is an offshoot of the government's plan, and in this plan it involves the commitment to public and private partnership, which is education of the public on the government's intention to support digital products for the underserved, and hence it's called financial inclusion. It's very timely. Digital evolution, it's becoming faster and faster, and the sooner Jamaicans are made aware of the opportunities, the sooner the investors, all stakeholders, and the consumers can participate. I personally would not like to see a foreign company come in and provide solutions to our own citizens, which we are capable of doing. So it is incumbent upon us to now start to roll out our strategies. There are 4 authorized issuers, and issuer is the company who will be providing the service. There is Alliance, GK, which does MPay, Quisk, NCB, and previously there was Connect. And these companies have made significant advancements and investments into the new ecosystem. And I personally believe that there's so much opportunity. Lasco Financial Services is preparing its application as well, because we see the opportunities in the market. But for the state, we believe it is necessary for them to assist us with the public education, because we have to convert. It's going to be a lot to convert new customers who are not fully aware of the opportunities and the entire security features of this digital payment. That us as issuers can't do on our own. So that was mainly the gist of my presentation, to make the state think differently about their role in financial inclusion, and also to make the investors think differently about their role. I find that most of the investors are so focused on the payment system, which is the technology, and not thinking about the ecosystem. Now, the ecosystem is necessary to drive success, which is all the merchants involved, all the agents that are involved, and other government stakeholders. So I hope today I was able to give them a different perspective. So far, there's not been any successful business proposition, neither for the customer nor the investors themselves. So I hope I was able to get them to think a little differently today.
It's time for a quick break, but stay with us. We have much more after this.
As the end of the year draws nigh and the celebrations begin, let us add some magic to the festivities with our BATV Christmas mix. Why settle for blah when you can have fa la 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 la? 60 advertising spots, 10 cross spots. This $1.6 million package is all yours for only $45,000. Don't wait. Contact our sales team today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Our gift to you, BATV Christmas Mix. Offer valid until December 31, 2018.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show. And Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. Wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us.
So people earn more as technology gets adopted. So that's on the macro side, but then there are overwhelming distributional effect of technology. The high school droppers, their real wage 1963, from the 60s. So what happened with technology adoption is that those who are able to use those technologies are the one who benefit, because the technology is complementary to high skill. Think about powerful computers. You can do programming. Obviously, you will program faster. You can run your code faster. But if you have robots are substitute to who? Robots are substitute to low-skilled workers. You still need high-skilled people to program those robots. So in equilibrium, you would have more higher real wage, higher productivity for high-skilled workers, and lower real wage for low-skilled workers. Because the demand for those low-skilled is lower because they get substituted with robots, but the demand for high-skill is higher because you need more high-skilled people to program and to actually operate those robots. Now, that's the general perspective on technology, but you may wonder, is this time different? Is the digital revolution different from the previous technological change that occurred? In some respect, yes, but not totally. Yes, because this chart shows you the lag in the adoption of technologies. So if you look at earlier technologies in terms of motor engines, they were slow. The adoption of those technologies was slower. So the digital is faster to adopt, maybe because of the nature of the technology itself. But the reality is that the changes that we've seen over the past 50 years, you may have to double that. You'll be thinking about it 50 years ahead, because technology diffusion is faster. Now, I do believe that people learn fast. I mean, we saw yesterday in the keynote there was a top-down approach to financial inclusion, which in the case of Jamaica could mean the path benefits are channeled through funds. And as you do that alone, if people are already aware that my path benefit will be coming on my phone, it unlocks that possibility to use funds as device to mobile service and all. So I think there is some scope for top-down in terms of what the policy can do to incentivize those behaviors. In some other countries where the private sector is very large and have a lot of access to credit, they could also engineer, they could facilitate that process. But I think in developing countries there is a scope for government to kind of fuel the process.
I was essentially looking back and to see how what has been the impact on technology, on work, technology on distribution. And the key message there is that technological advancement have generally been associated with higher growth, higher productivity, and higher real wages on aggregate. But they also come with some challenges because when there are new technology, some people get displaced because some new jobs get created as a substitution to some of the old jobs. So usually technology are more skill biased. So those people who have skills are complementary to technology. Like if you need robots, you're essentially substituting low-skill jobs. But those people who can operate the robots and program the robots, those are the people who, in the first instance, benefit the most. Now, that could lead to polarization of income. So you may have more inequality because the more skill get more and the low skill get less because they get substituted by the machines, right? So the question there is what can policy do? And this is one of the questions that I was trying to provide an answer to, drawing on some work that has been done at the IMF on technology and the future of work. And essentially, there is a taxation and spending policies that could be adopted. First, to make sure that the unskilled can keep up with technology in terms of upgrading their skills. And number two, how to finance that. Because if the government wants to spend more in those areas, there is scope to raise taxes. And when you think about tax, you don't want to tax the income of the person earning more because he may work less. So you don't want distortionary taxes. You want consumption type tax. So in that model, they try to see if taxing consumption to finance more education spending and providing some transfers, how can you redistribute the gain of technological change? So you keep the growth, so you keep the fact, you don't prevent technology from occurring, because one of the nature of the growth and development is that new sectors comes up, some jobs get destroyed, and as long as there is no distortion in the process, you shouldn't prevent the process. And that's what policy can do, you know, in terms of using taxation and spending to make sure that although the aggregate gains of technology are protected, you also take care of the non-so skilled in terms of upgrading them.
We take our final break, but don't go anywhere. We have more highlights for you after this.
Having a corporate event, seminar, awards show, conference, product launch, workshop or expo? Business Access TV is here to showcase your event. Contact our sales department at 908-0919, 906-6357 or 908-2775 for more information. Business Access TV, serious about business.
As the end of the year draws nigh and the celebrations begin, let us add some magic to the festivities with our BATV Christmas Mix. Why settle for blah when you can have fa-la-la-la-la? 60 advertising spots, 10 cross spots. This $1.6 million package is all yours for only $45,000. Don't wait. Contact our sales team today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Our gift to you. BATV Christmas Mix. Offer valid until December 31, 2018.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point. With Kalila Reynolds and Dennis Chung. Dissecting the issues. Offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On point. Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Thanks for staying with us, and if you're just tuning in, we're here at the Driving Financial Inclusion with Digital Payments Conference. Now for more highlights.
Security incidents have been increasing in sophistication, frequency, and the magnitude of impact. So no longer you have a one-way hack. So we hack an organization somewhere and it's isolated. No more we have that. We go in big. Hackers are organized. You have hacker teams, and I really want to scare you really, really bad, but we have them locally too. And on these teams, you have the person who is in charge of personal data. You are the technical person. You do the social engineering. Different persons have their different roles. So they're dedicated to what they do. This is their job. Figure out how to get into a certain amount of accounts and take out the money. These incidents, as I may have alluded to before, affect the reputation of the company, their finances, and even their physical assets, because they can take down your networks. This undermines your competitiveness and your ability to innovate and position yourself in the marketplace. You can suffer tangible, physical, or economic harms. Security incidents can impose significant costs on an economy as a whole, eroding trust and spreads across sectors. The attacks themselves may be intentional. So they may sit and plan for a year that look, we're coming for Bank of Jamaica. However, it may also be unintentional. You may just have that one user that's clicked on the wrong thing. A lot of times, that happens. What are some of the ways in which this can happen? Now, research has shown that the biggest security issue in any organization is the human. Give them a set of credentials, it's theirs. And anything happens under those credentials, they are responsible. And always be careful of opening and following links in unsolicited mail. If you don't know the person, like me and the cyber jutsu person, don't be clicking at them. As much as it may make you feel good, the feel good factor is what they used to catch. And what we say, always we cyber say, protect yourself online and think before you click. And I've even gone further now to say think before you post, because some of the things that you're posting, they're even more dangerous than somebody stealing your phone. I spoke about the need for persons to be aware of the issues that can arise with using online platforms as well as using electronic devices. So we want people to know that while there are good uses, and I did speak to some of the uses of social media in marketing and in promoting a business, there are some risks that exist, and I gave some examples as to how to manage those risks. Companies need to do all that is necessary to protect consumers' data. Why I don't think sometimes they realize that this data that they hold is valuable to other organizations, some not necessarily legal organizations as well, for all sorts of use. And that is what we're trying to get across, that companies need to realize that you're holding personal data and other persons are interested in this data, so it is your responsibility to protect it. When you're using online platforms, when you're using electronic devices, think before you click, think before you post with social media. You need to consider the impact that whatever you post may have, not only on you, but on others. Thinking before you click can save yourself and your organization a lot of trouble.
As it relates to a digital world, and as users and consumers increase their usage, and the intention is that as technology improves and increase, then more and more persons should take up the use, especially to do businesses and services. But, the direction that we're heading is good, but we also have to think about the negative side of things, in the sense that there are challenges with respect to security aspect of what we do. We do a lot of business online, we do a lot of transaction, point-of-sale services. All of these things, pose risk and threat for the consumers. Criminals are out there, they're understudying and looking at how things move on and progress with respect to businesses, whether it's online businesses and things like that. They can get involved in studying your patterns of usage online. Say, for example, if you pay bills online, if you shop online, normally you'll put your information about your card online, your PIN number online. Criminals can now send, malicious software to your smart devices. Once it gets on your devices, these criminals now have access to your information. It dumps things like keyloggers, so when you're ready to put your card number in, they capture that number. It goes as far as turning on your camera system and turns on your audio system. Sounds very scary, but indeed it is so. I'm not here to let persons become paranoid, but becomes aware of the possibilities that are out there. Sometimes you go to point of sale to do your transactions. We have to be careful of the persons that are accepting your debit and credit card, because sometimes they work with the criminal underworld. They get things like skimmers, a similar thing to your swipe when you take it to the supermarket or gas station. Swipes. Criminals are now bringing into the country the fake ones, so that cashiers and persons who are accepting these cards, they will have the fake, what we call a skimmer. Once you make your payment and you're not paying attention, these persons can swipe these cards, capture the information about your card, recreate your card, or get into your account. So I'd advise shoppers, when you go to the gas station, don't just give your card and turn your back or let the attendant go away with your card. If they're not doing these transactions in your presence, then you should not do business with that kind of, business place. So these are some of the things, we just want you to be aware that these are the possibilities, and you have to be vigilant as a user and as a consumer, because the more and more we move into a cashless society, it becomes more challenging for law enforcement to investigate these cases. As I said before, the internet has no borders, and all of these things are connected on a global scale to different servers providing different services. And sometimes you have persons out there that can hide their criminal activity. Say, for example, an IP address. Criminals can now hide their IP address, make it appear that it's coming from a specific server, a proxy server, makes it more difficult for law enforcement to track these criminals. But I want to reassure the Jamaican public that law enforcement and government is doing the best they can at this point, seeing that, digitization and technology drives the economy. We'll have to prepare ourselves to serve and protect consumers as they use technology more. Laws are in place to deal with criminals and to deter their activity. We have the Cybercrime Act of 2015, which is now up for revision. The penalties are stiff. If it's in the lower court, it can be between 3 to 5 years or $3 to $5 million. If it's in the upper court, you can get a maximum of 20 years or $20 million. And these are some of the things we are putting in place to deter criminal activity. Of course, the police department do have a specific unit that deals with the investigation of these types of crimes. Personnel have been trained and have the necessary skill set that can investigate these matters. Another thing is that Jamaica is a part of a global network of investigators and skilled person who can investigate these cases. So because the internet has no borders, it means that a perpetrator can, have access to your information from outside of Jamaica, which means that you need the support of other countries. Jamaica is a part of a 24/7 network, which comprises of about 80 different countries. So if a perpetrator appears to be coming from country X, once that country is a part of the network, then they will collaborate and support the investigation with the local police department. And that is something that, we want consumers to be reassured that indeed we are trying to keep up with the game as criminals get more sophisticated.
And that brings us to the end of part 2 of our 2-part coverage of the Driving Financial Inclusion with Digital Payments Conference. Until next time, I'm Javon Keys, inviting you to stay tuned to Business Access TV, serious about business.
I'm Shani Jajo, and you're watching Business Access.
evening, welcome to BATV News. I'm Gareth Williams. Before year end, the new concessionaires of the Norman Manley International Airport NMIA, Grupo Aeroportuario Pacifico, GAP, will begin operations. The government and the Mexican-based company signed the concession agreement today. Javon Keys was there.
Full throttle has been engaged and preparations for takeoff have begun with the public-private partnership between the Norman Manley International Airport through the Airports Authority of Jamaica and Grupo Aeroportuario del Pacifico, the Mexican-based airport operating company. They have signed a concession agreement which will see them operating the Norman Manley International Airport for the next 25 years. After a lengthy divestment process spanning years and different administrations, the Norman Manley International Airport is officially off the government's hands. Grupo Aeroportuario del Pacifico, GAP, was announced as the preferred bidder on September 11, and the contract to seal the deal signed Wednesday morning. After the deal was sealed, Minister of Transport and Works Robert Montague said the government was pleased with the agreement, especially as the deal is in keeping with the administration's growth strategy.
The selection of GAP as the preferred bidder for Norman Manley's concession marks a significant step towards Jamaica scoring another successful PPP. This too comes on the heels of the completion of the Kingston Container Terminal and the North-South Highway. The Norman Manley PPP affirms the government's commitment to facilitating private sector investment to develop world-class infrastructure, which is a critical element of the government's economic growth strategy.
Minister Montague pointed out that through the agreement, the government will receive a percentage of the revenues earned. The deal also sees the airport's new operators being mandated to execute some improvement works to include runway expansion. The upgrades are expected to cost some $110 million.
Under the terms of the Norman Manley concession agreement, the government of Jamaica will receive a guaranteed percentage of the gross revenues earned at Norman Manley. GAP will be responsible for operating and maintaining the airport, improving the efficiency of both land and airside operations, and financing and completing the planned modernization program. This will include an agreed capital works program to be completed within the first 36 months of the concession agreement, aimed at expanding and upgrading the facilities at the airport.
Meanwhile, the Transport Minister added that the government was somewhat disappointed with the percentage of revenues to be received.
We are in the business of inviting investors to partner with us. We are not in the business of giving away our assets. So PB, we are a little disappointed that we didn't get a little more. But we are happy as it is.
Minister Montague refused to disclose the percentage. However, he noted that it was still above the world average of about 45% of earnings. In the meantime, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said the successful divestment of NMIA affirms the government's commitment to executing more public-private partnerships that will benefit the local economy.
It's not just the airport that can become a PPP. There are many projects in Jamaica that the government itself will not be able to find the investment to do. But by virtue of the good capital that we're building in executing successful PPPs, we will have more investments.
The Jamaican government hopes that once this partnership takes flight, it will be something that will bring benefits to all Jamaicans from all walks of life. For BATV News, I am Javon Keys.
Even though JPS workers who took industrial action yesterday are back at work, talks continue. General Secretary of the Union of Clerical, Administrative and Supervisory Employees, UK's John Levy, who represents some of the employees, says the workers returned for the 8 p.m. shift last evening after a meeting with representatives from the Jamaica Public Service and the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. He says there are 3 main claims that need to be clarified, all of which were initially honored by JPS.
Based on requests from the company, we were asked to delay the submission of the claim until somewhere about March, which we did. And it took quite a while to get the clarification meeting, but we eventually got that in end of July, early August. And we were hoping that we would have gotten a response from the company in short order. That didn't materialize. We had to write to them in September, the 14th of September. And they ignored that letter. So that is one issue. So the workers now would have been clamoring to get the negotiations out of the way. Bearing in mind that the last round of negotiations, we had a contract signed, sealed and delivered by the 15th of August, 2015. Now we haven't started as yet, and we are in October. So, that's an ominous sign, and the workers are very, very, very concerned about this long delay.
The second is the performance-based incentive program. Mr. Levy says the terms were agreed on, but the payments were not made as expected.
We were supposed to work out the payment details of the program. So the performance part of the program and how you score and all of that was being done. Right? People were getting their appraisals done, etc. But the compensation component, there were some details to be worked out. We said to the company, look, we already have this for a group of workers already. Use the same compensation model. They refused, they dodged, they dilly-dallied. So there was a budgeted amount, and they're saying when the document wasn't signed, not showing the feelings of the union, but because the management refused to come to the table, they decide no, the same management that refused to sign is now saying the chaos they never signed, we take away the money. That is so unfair and unethical.
The third issue of contention is the electricity discount discretionary benefit to pensioners.
The company has not said to the union that they are going to remove that section that says this benefit is going to will discontinue when you retire. So you can offer me something and give me something, and then you want to unilaterally take it away and say I'm no longer an employee, so you have the power to take it away. It was part of my contract with you before I retired.
Mr. Levy says the group will continue to negotiate with the JPS until all three claims are satisfied. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has announced the complete revision of the National Water Commission's corporate governance and business model. The Prime Minister says soon the NWC will no longer be a statutory body, but a registered company listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. He was speaking at the opening ceremony of the Caribbean Water and Wastewater Association's 27th Annual Conference and Exhibition in Montego Bay, St. James. Jamila Maitland reports.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness said NWC's current framework limits the company's ability to give every Jamaican access to water.
We have started by having a review of the corporate governance and the business model of the National Water Commission. The NWC's current business model, we realize, at times limits its ability to fulfill its own mission, leading to difficulties in raising capital or even meeting regulatory targets. And at the same time, the cost of water services is approaching unaffordable levels.
He listed the changes to come for the company, including being listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
So far, the prioritized options under consideration are, and we have started this already, the rapid non-revenue water reduction using performance-based contracts. Then we are now seeking to reorganize the NWC, in fact, changing its form from a statutory body to a company registered under the Companies Act. And then we're looking at raising equity finance by listing shares of the new corporate entity on the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Mr. Holness announced that private water companies will also be engaged. This, he said, was a strategy under the new business model to give every Jamaican access to water.
We're also looking at delegating services to private providers to function as concessionaires within the service provision of water. These are all new models for the provision of the water service that we have to consider if we are to meet the growing challenges of providing accessible, high-quality water services to our people.
For BATV News, I'm Jamila Maitland.
And when we come back, businesses are more concerned about the sliding dollar than they are about crime. This and more after the break.
As the end of the year draws nigh and the celebrations begin, let us add some magic to the festivities with our BATV Christmas mix. Why settle for blah when you can have fa la 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 la? 60 advertising spots, 10 crawl spots. This $1.6 million package is all yours for only $45,000. Don't wait. Contact our sales team today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Our gift to you, BATV Christmas Mix. Offer valid until December 31, 2018.
Welcome back. The latest Business Consumer Confidence Survey has showed that businesses are more concerned about the instability of the Jamaican dollar than they are about crime. Shoshana Small reports.
For the first time this quarter, the devaluation of the Jamaican dollar has surpassed crime as a major deterrent to investment. But Don Anderson, Managing Director of Market Research Services Limited, which conducted the survey, said the government should not let this information lead to complacency with crime fighting.
They would be ill-advised if they then assume that the crime factor is not a big factor, because the data does clearly indicate, and I want to make the point very clearly indicate, that crime is still a big deterrent. It is just that the devaluation of the dollar, people see this particular portion, but both of them are big elements in the destabilization and process of investment. It's a very critical factor.
However, President of the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, Larry Watson, argued that the dollar's devaluation showed up in the survey as a major concern to businesses because of the time the survey was conducted.
In July, it ended the month at 1/30/16. Now remember, the survey started July 6th to September 25th, and at the end of August, the rate was 135.48. And within that time, on July 12th, it was 137, and August 15th, it was 137.20.
He commended the measures taken by the Bank of Jamaica and the Ministry of Finance since.
The dollar moved too quickly to keep them comfortable, and that shattered the confidence, because the objective of having people, trying to get people to save in Jamaican dollars and not US had moved. So I think that then at that particular time when Don was doing the survey, shattered the business not shattered, it disrupted or moved the focus of the business confidence to the exchange rate. However, I think as you see, the Bank of Jamaica and the Ministry of Finance has been very vocal, in how they are managing it.
The business confidence for the third quarter remained stable at approximately 140 points. For BATV News, I'm Shoshana Small.
Kingston Wharves Limited, KWL, has advanced a customs bond in support of domestic importers. The bond covers freight forwarders and businesses that import full container loads who are seeking to transfer shipments that arrive at the neighboring Kingston Freeport Terminal KFTL. Chief Operating Officer at Kingston Wharves, Mark Williams, says this will remove the inconvenience of having cargo being shipped through the terminal and processed at one terminal and processed through the other. Mr. Williams further explained that under Jamaican law, containers must have a customs bond in place to exit the port area before official customs clearance, even if it's a short distance. He notes that some individual freight forwarders and local businesses cannot afford the customs bond. He also claimed that the stringent requirements for processing also makes things difficult. He says that's why KWL has decided to put up the bond on their behalf. He adds that KWL has committed to engaging the trucking service and security to handle the transfer between the terminals to ensure that it is done smoothly and safely. Minister of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, Audley Shaw, says the agricultural sector can produce and make more local foods available to support students through the school feeding program. He was speaking in Parliament yesterday as he made his contribution to a motion brought by Member of Parliament for Central Kingston, Ronald Thwaites, regarding the increased use of nutritious local produce under the school feeding program. The minister said there are several agricultural products in which Jamaica has already achieved 100% market share that could be used in the school feeding program. He cited carrots, callaloo, cabbage, pumpkin, sweet potatoes, breadfruit, cassava, yam, and green bananas as examples. Minister Shaw noted that if the school feeding program entered into contracts with specific farmers, then the country could see an increase in agricultural production, employment, and farm income in rural areas. He added that the school feeding program should consider adding sweet potato to its menu as the nutritional benefits are significant. The government will be launching an educational campaign surrounding the impending ban on the importation, manufacture, distribution, and use of specific categories of plastic packaging materials. The announcement was made last Friday by Government Senator Matthew Samuda. He said the campaign will, among other things, highlight alternative packaging materials. The ban, which starts in January 2019, relates to single-use plastic carriers or shopping bags, styrofoam, and plastic drinking straws. It does not apply to bags used to maintain public health or food safety standards, such as those utilized to package raw meats, flour, sugar, rice, and baked goods, such as bread. Meanwhile, Mr. Samuda said that discussions are being held with local companies regarding funding to retool their operations in order to manufacture more environmentally safe products. He pointed out that 5 or 6 companies will be affected. In the meantime, Senate President Tom Tavares Finson called on Jamaicans to play their part in ensuring that the ban is successful. He says it doesn't matter in which government implements the ban, focus should be placed rather on the deleterious effects of plastics on the environment. Stay with us. We have regional and international stories next.
The Nissan X-Trail with All-Mode I technologies. No matter what the road throws at you, your story starts here.
Having a corporate event, seminar, awards show, conference, product launch, workshop, or expo? Business Access TV is here to showcase your event. Contact our sales department at 908-0919, 906-6357, or 908-2775 for more information. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Welcome back. It's now time for regional and international stories. A large number of Bahamians surveyed in a recent poll are supporting a controversial Disney project. More from our News' Jasmine Brown.
Ramin giving our news team a full breakdown of the numbers this morning, where he also revealed that a whopping 66% of the people who heard about the proposed Disney project also supported it.
The main results that we found is that 2 out of 3 Bahamians support this. That doesn't mean that 2 out of 3 Bahamians know the full scope of the development, but as general rule, 2 out of 3.
According to Ramin, Public Domain conducted a telephone survey between September 27th and October 7, 2018. It was commissioned and paid for by Disney. The Public Domain president gave a breakdown of the poll, saying nearly 1,000 people from across the Bahamas were surveyed.
We polled 994 households randomly selected throughout the country.
Disney is seeking approval from the government to develop the property as it looks to double the number of ships calling on ports in the Bahamas by adding 3 new ships in 2021, 2022, and 2023. The company already has an agreement for purchase with the current owner of the Lighthouse Point property and has said the project will cost between $350 million and $400 million. But there has been a strong objection to the project by some. The One Luther Foundation has spent the last few months lobbying the government for approval to develop a national park at Lighthouse Point. Along the way, they have garnered the support of environmental groups like Re-Earth and the Bahamas National Trust. Despite their objections, Raming says the polls show strong support for the development.
One can imagine younger people tend to be more in favor of this, and people with lower incomes tend to be more in favor of this.
Those who said they did not support the project were asked what their biggest reason was for doing so. 21% of respondents said they do not support the project because of possible environmental damage. 12% said because of the loss of local access to Lighthouse Point. 14% said the government has already given too much land to foreign developers. 12% said they do not like or trust the cruise industry, and 6% said it won't benefit Bahamians. Raming said since the survey was released, there has been some backlash. However, he insisted the facts are the facts.
Anytime we come up with anything like this, if you disagree with it, you find lots of ways of saying that this is no good. I would suggest stop trying to disagree with a poll and try to change Bahamians' minds to be more like you if that's what you want. But realize that the number is the number is the number. It is what it is, and it's reflective of the entire country.
Reporting for R News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Guyana has signed a partnership agreement with the European Union to facilitate the export of timber. Here's more.
In December 2015, Guyana and the European Union began negotiating a voluntary partnership agreement known as the VPA to develop a timber legality assurance system so it can issue licenses to verified legal timber products under a system called FLECT, or Forest Law Enforcement, Governance and Trade. The voluntary partnership agreement is a legally binding trade agreement between the EU and a timber exporting country and aims to ensure that all timber and timber products destined for the EU market from a partner country comply with the laws of that country. Over the last 4 years, various stakeholders, including government regulatory bodies and local people, were engaged in finalizing all aspects of the VPA.
What the steering committee or the NTWG wanted to ensure is that throughout the length and breadth of Guyana, people are aware of the VPA process, persons buy in to what is being proposed, and there was a level of acceptance at all stages.
As Guyana gets ready for the signing and implementation phases, Gavin Agard, Deputy Commissioner of Forests, said that 6 to 7 communities will be trained with a special focus on GPS and map reading.
To sensitize and raise awareness and train community members with GPS and map reading. It's envisioned that a package will be prepared which contains a video and other materials. So after the training has been completed, the participants and even persons who did not participate in the training can still benefit from some of the material that has been left with the community.
Once Guyana begins FLECT licensing, the products covered by the VPA will only be exported to the EU, accompanied by FLECT licenses attesting to their legality. FLECT licensed timber products from Guyana will be able to enter the EU market without undergoing the due diligence checks required by the EU timber regulation.
English-grown wine has been given a boost by Brexit and this year's heat wave, but it faces unknown challenges ahead of the March deadline. Here's more.
A 60% increase in harvest this year here at Chapel Down, the home of the UK's answer to champagne, after Britain's joint hottest summer on record. It's not just global warming, but also Brexit, which has given business here a boost. Imports of champagne into Britain have fallen over the past year to an 18-year low, as the weakness of the pound pushes up the price of a bottle of bubbly.
It's quite exciting to see an industry so young being so successful so quickly. And people are curious as to what we're doing down here in the southeast of England, and more people are trying the wine and being surprised and delighted by the quality of what's in the bottle.
While the bulk of Chapel Down's wines are sold within the UK, the vineyard relies on international trade for production, using tanks, barrels and pressing machines made in France and Germany. And the vineyards rely heavily on teams of mostly Eastern European workers to pick the grapes. So while the Brexit effects proved helpful so far, the company's keeping a wary eye on developments.
We have planning in place for the coming months and year in terms of dry goods and in terms of elements that we import into the winery.
Chapel Down's looking to expand in the US. There's not much of a market for them across Europe, where countries already have abundant supplies of their own homegrown wines. In the longer term, the prospects for England's wine industry will come to depend on whatever trade deals London strikes with countries outside the EU.
Talking Stocks is next. Stay with us.
Growth Tech is making connectivity like oxygen. Wherever you see the Growth Tech free Wi-Fi, feel free to connect. Watch, connect, and go, allowing you to chat, check, browse, and email securely. So when you're on the go and need to connect with friends, family, or a team member, or just stay updated, look for Growth Tech's free Wi-Fi. Growth Tech, making connectivity like oxygen.
Welcome back. It's now time for Talking Stocks. 59 stocks traded today, of which 20 advanced, 33 declined, and 6 traded firm. The main JSE index declined by 3,578 points to close at over 375,000. The junior index declined by 18 points to close at 3,384. Over 19 million units traded today, valued at over $294 million on the Jamaican dollar market, while on the US dollar market, more than 50,000 units traded, valued at $10,000 US. With Cinco Group ordinary shares with over 10 million units trading, accounted for more than half of market volume. Grace Kennedy with over 1.5 million units trading was second, while Supreme Ventures with more than 1.2 million units crossing the floor accounted for 6% of market volume. The main advancers were Salada Foods, up $5.55 to close at $26, followed by Kingston Wharves, up $7.93 to close at $83, and Jamaica Producers up $1.50 to close at $31.50. The main decliners were Supreme Ventures, down $3.44 to close at $17.42, followed by JMMB Group ordinary shares, down $3.72 to close at $3.31, and G West Corporation ordinary shares, down 15 cents to close at $1.76. In foreign exchange trading, the Jamaican dollar lost ground to all 3 major trading partners today. The US dollar ended the day trading for an average $133.55, a gain of 21 cents. The Canadian dollar ended the day gaining $2.53 on the Jamaican, trading for $105.66. And the British pound sterling sold for $176.15, a gain of $1.74 on the Jamaican. And that's the news, but before we go, a recap of our top story. Before year end, the new concessionaires of the Norman Manley International Airport, Grupo Aeroportuario Pacifico, GAP, will begin operations. The government and the Mexican-based company signed the concession agreement today. Thanks for watching, and for more content, visit our website at www.batvja.com. I'm Gareth Williams. Pleasant viewing.
This week on Wealth Magazine Business Access, we sit with Ricky Mahfood, Executive Chairman at Hawkeye Electronics and Security Limited. On this episode, Mahfood explains how his upbringing has impacted him as a leader and why he is so passionate about keeping commitments.
Your word is your bond, and that has been something that has driven me
If you make a commitment, honor it.
Ricky Mafood also tells us how Hawkeye continues to revolutionize the security industry and what's next for this Jamaican company.
I'm Ricky Mafood. I'm the Executive Chairman of Hawkeye Electronic Security Limited. Ricky Mafood is a family man, someone who is passionate about his wife and his children, and passionate about his Lord and serving him. I can be intense at times and focused when I need something done and done properly. And maybe some people may see me as a, type A personality, very driven and so on. And I guess in a way that I am driven by what is important to me and what I believe I am called to do. So that's probably a little of who I am. I was born in Kingston in 1958. Growing up in Kingston brings back very fond memories for me. A lot of our cousins lived relatively close to us, and on the weekends we would be together playing football, riding around the neighborhood, and as we grew older, riding motorcycles and so on. So I have really good memories of those days. I attended Surbiton Prep, and then from there went to Ligani Prep and on to Wolmer's Boys School. I entered Wolmer's in 1971, and in 72, you may not remember, but Wolmer's won the Manning Cup, the Olivia Shield, and the Walker Cup. So those are memories that are ingrained in me, can't forget that. I left Wolmer's at the end of 4th form at 74, and our family migrated to Miami, where I completed high school and then went on and did some years in college. Leaving Jamaica and going to school in Miami was definitely an eye-opener. Because I was going to an all-boys school. Now I'm in a school with girls, no uniforms, and so on. So it was a totally different type of scenario. Fortunately, there were some Jamaicans there, and we connected with, and that kind of brought a level of stability to us. One of the things that we were not going to lose there was our identity. So during our years in Miami, we never lost our accent, and whereas rather being influenced by the people and the culture, we were the ones that were influencing those that were around us, and they started to talk like us. So while it was a shock for us in one way, it was a good learning experience for the time we were there. After leaving high school in Miami, I attended a junior college in Miami for 2 years and graduated with a degree in what's called architectural technology. I then went on to University of Florida, but kind of lost my focus on my passion for what I was doing. And after about a year and a half, I decided to just head back to Miami and start working. I did some time in sales. I did a couple of years in the restaurant business, managing an Italian restaurant and so on. And it was around that time, in '81, when I decided that it was time to come home. Working in sales, for anybody that has, it's very challenging. Sometimes it is disappointing, but I found that in the disappointment is when I would kind of get challenged to do better and to strive and to excel. So it was a good time of learning for me, yes, interacting with customers, and learning to do business, in terms of being punctual, delivering on what you promise, and so on. And in a North American market, those things are crucial. You turn up late and you're out the door. You don't deliver on time, and maybe the next order doesn't come your way. So yes, there were valuable lessons learned there, and I think those things kind of helped shape me along the way. Coming back to Jamaica in 1981, I was a young man, about 23 years old, and not quite sure what I was going to do. So I kind of tagged along with what my father was doing and worked with him, both my brother and myself. And he did a development on Shortwood Road called Woodlands. We worked with him there, and from there he did another development on Millsboro Avenue called The Pines. And again, I was there as his right hand. From there, about 1986, I branched out with my brother, and we ventured into the world of security. In 1985, beginning Ranger Security, and then in 88, stepping into the electronic security field and opening Hawkeye Electronic Security. One of the biggest challenges for me would be when you lose a member of staff in the line of duty.
As the end of the year draws nigh and the celebrations begin, let us add some magic to the festivities with our BATV Christmas mix. Why settle for blah when you can have fa la 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 la? 60 advertising spots, 10 cross spots. This $1.6 million package is all yours for only $45,000. Don't wait. Contact our sales team today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Our gift to you, BATV Christmas Mix. Offer valid until December 31, 2018.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On Point with Kalila Reynolds and Dennis Chung. Dissecting the issues, offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Having a corporate event, seminar, awards show, conference, products launch, workshop or expo? Business Access TV is here to showcase your event. Contact our sales department at 908-0919, 906-6357 or 908-2775 for more information. Business Access TV, serious about business. Cameo brings the creative industries to life. Delighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
We're taking you beyond our shores, across the region and around the world. Every week, BATV gives you in-depth reporting on the major stories that gripped headlines in the Caribbean and on the international scene. Join us Sundays for This Week Abroad. Business Access TV, serious about business at home and abroad.
Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Setting up Hawkeye was challenging in a number of ways. Primarily because it was a security company, you're dealing with firearms and getting permits and licenses and so on. Along with that, you're now beginning a service-related business where you're employing people and you're running a 24-hour operation. So it was a learning experience, and the learning curve for me took a little while. But once we started, going and things kind of leveled out, probably around 6 months down the road, we had a big challenge, and that was Hurricane Gilbert in September of that year, which really was something I never really even thought of happening. And with that, it caused us to have to dig deep, because when you have a natural disaster like that, people are looking for the security to be there anyway. And to be honest with you, we had a group of men back then that were amazing. They slept at the office, ate bully beef and bread, morning, noon, and night. And we did our patrols and location checks and so forth. And amazingly, none of our customers lost anything during that time with Gilbert, where there was several months where things were in shambles. For us to survive during that time, and I think coming out of that, our customers began to speak about us, and word of mouth and what have you, and the company just began to grow. And in 89 and 90, 91 going forward, the company just continued to grow and strive. So yes, it was a definitely defining moment, I believe. I would say, one of the biggest challenges for me would be when you lose a member of staff in the line of duty. Very difficult time for me, because they're part of your family, somebody you work amongst, and it's hard, very hard to deal with. But at the end of the day, you realize that it's a part of the job that we do, and you just have to kind of deal with it and move on as best as you can, and offer support to those around you and to the family and so forth. When I look at where we are today, 2016, it's humbling for me, and I give God thanks very often, because as I reflect back to those early days where we had maybe initially 5 employees, and I think we started with 13 customers, to where we are today with, within the guarding side of the business and the electronics, we have about 1,800 people working with us, and we're securing over 10,000 customers. So it is a humbling thing for me. And it also is something that causes me to just reflect on the persons that are part of our team, because it's not about me. It's really about the people that are on the team with me, that do the groundwork and the support and so on, and that deliver the service. And so a big thank you goes to those that are with us, those who have been with us, and help us along the way. Security is a big issue and affects everybody. And I believe, the whole electronic security business has brought a level of affordability to the marketplace, which benefits everybody. So today, you know, somebody moving into a home, a security system is part of what they would think of having, just as they would think of having cable TV, telephone service, and what have you. Security is a part of that thought process. And because of the affordability of it, you find more and more people now are opting for that and signing up to get a system installed, to get you know, even a security system for their vehicle and what have you. So it's definitely a growing business. I think moving the company to the next level is remaining on the forefront of the available technology. From the very beginning, that was one of the things that I had my eyes on. What is out there, whether it's from Europe, North America, Asia, we must be able to offer that to our customers here. And it's something that we continue to do. We identify products and we test them, we bring them in here in our market, and when we see something that we think will work, then we introduce it to the marketplace and what have you. Going forward, it would be much of the same, because the whole technology industry is changing. Things are just going at such a dramatic pace, where you can, you know, view cameras at your home on your smartphone. I mean, a few years ago that was not possible. So it's just keeping our fingers on the pulse of what's happening in the world of security and bringing to market those products that would fit in here with our culture, and providing the back-end support, whether it's armed response, the technical support and expertise, and so on, to give our customers what they are looking for. I think the best piece of advice would be something my father taught me many years ago growing up. And it is a quote that said, "Your word is your bond." And that has been something that has stayed with me and has driven me. It's do what you say. If you make a commitment, honor it.
This is Weekend Business Report. Economic windfall,
unsecured loans,
alleged corruption,
follows the closure. If they made this investment,
brokers
strive to increase revenues.
These sought some answers.
Financial meltdown.
Here are the week's final. Here's Garth. News Roundup.
Camille, it's back to you.
That's Weekend Business Report with me, Camille Gale, Saturdays and Sundays.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On Point with Kalila Reynolds and Dennis Chung. Dissecting the issues, offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show, and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Having a corporate event, seminar, awards show, conference, product launch, workshop or expo? Business Access TV is here to showcase your event. Contact our sales department at 908-0919, 906-6357 or 908-2775 for more information. Business Access TV, serious about business.
are back with another exciting, innovative and inspiring season.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness, being consistent and persistent in whatever you're doing. That's the bottom line.
Business exists to add value to people's lives. And if we're not doing that, might as well lock down the store and just call it a day.
It's a season 3 of Creating Wealth, Mondays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
What drives me is a desire to deliver service to our customers, to come up with the systems that we think will better protect them, you know, developing security solutions. That's one of the things we do at Hawkeye. It's not a matter of just providing A, B, or C, but it's looking at what a customer needs and developing a solution that is going to meet their needs and be an affordable option for them. So that, as I said before, and just having a desire to serve and to deliver service to our customers, that is really something that drives me and pushes me every day. I think the best piece of advice would be something my father taught me many years ago growing up. And it is a quote that said, "Your word is your bond." And that has been something that has stayed with me and has driven me. It's do what you say. If you make a commitment, honor it. And going a step beyond that, as a Christian, honesty and integrity are very important for me. And it's something that I share across the board at the company, that we must always be forthright with our customers, being honest and open and so forth. And so being a person of integrity and delivering on what I say is very important. Some of the things that we do at Hawkeye, you know, throughout the years, we support different organizations, different charities, different homes, children homes, and so forth. And we believe this is an important part of who we are as a company in terms of giving back to the community and to the wider society. And, you know, it's something we enjoy doing. When I am able to kind of wind down a bit, I enjoy my family. One of my favorite times is when we gather around the table to have dinner. You know, I have 5 kids, so 7 of us are on the table, and it's just a wonderful feeling to just look at your children around you growing up and so on. I enjoy cooking. So sometimes when I get home from work, cooking helps relieve some of the stress. And so I'll go in the kitchen and prepare something. And I also enjoy cycling. I cycle with a group of guys and girls about 3 times a week. And again, that's a really good stress reliever and a time of just social interaction and, you know, excellent exercise. My wife, Sandra, is a wonderful lady. First of all, to cope with me, because I'm not easy to be around sometimes. But she is a great wife and a great mother to our kids. We have 5 of them: Samantha, 12, Jessica, 13, Stephen, 16, Sarah, 17, and Matthew, 20. And they're wonderful children. You know, you have the usual challenges as they grow through the teenage years and what have you. So we're learning. You know, parenting is something you learn as you go along. And, you know, as Christians, the Word of God is central in our home, and we share that with them, and we try and guide them accordingly, so that their lives can be shaped by certain values, and which we believe are important for them. When you ask about wealth, what wealth means, you know, at one point I would say you know, the typical question, the typical answer, you know, financial security. But more and more, I have come to the place where wealth to me at the core is having a right relationship with God. Because everything else is meaningless if that isn't in place. So you can have financial success, you can have good health and so on, but if that relationship with God is not there, then those things are not going to add up. So to me, that would be what I would put as being wealthy, being in a right relationship with God through Jesus Christ, His Son.
Has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, Fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Having a corporate event, seminar, awards show, conference, product launch, workshop or expo? Business Access TV is here to showcase your event. Contact our sales department at 908-0919, 906-6357 or 908-2775 for more information. Business Access TV, serious about business.
The business community has suffered tremendously due to extortion. Some have not just lost their businesses, their jobs, but lost their lives. This is extremely impactful to the growth of our country and to the progress of our people. We are our brother's keeper. Let's put a stop to this. No more use of force. No more use of fear. No more extortion. No more.
Hope Zoo opened its doors to the public in 1961, housing a wide range of animals. However, the zoo took a turn for the worse. The once vibrant zoo that served as Kingston's primary family attraction was neglected. It fell into near-fatal stupor. But after years of not being cared for, the Hope Zoo was given a second chance at life and returned to its former glory. restoring the connection for family and friends to create a lifetime of memories together. Hard work, a passion for animals, and dedication is what seems to keep the zoo thriving since it was restored. Such passion was exerted when Caring Hands met the general manager, Rebecca Harper, whose office space, she told us, is the zoo.
So what I actually do is I ensure that all the responsibilities are done at the zoo. I also promote the zoo and the Preservation Foundation, because we're that and foremost a preservation foundation. We educate and we try and enhance Jamaicans to know about preservation, recycling, composting, but also the protection of animals. We have a slogan at the zoo, and you can see it here, love them, respect them, accept them, and protect them. And we carry that message beyond just the animals. We tell the children that they must love each other, respect each other, accept each other, and protect each other. We tell the teachers the same thing to the children. So when you learn to be with animals and respect animals, because they don't speak, so you actually have to relate to them at a completely different level. You have to watch them, you observe them, come closer, be quiet. And when you learn to be around animals, you become a more patient, respectful, calmer person when even you're dealing with humans. Funny enough, my dad used to bring me to the zoo when I was 7 years old. And I have loved this zoo all my life. Unfortunately, 7 years ago, I took my children here and it was brown. There were hardly any animals. In fact, there was a mongoose, maybe 2 peccaries, a snake, no lions, no zebras, nothing. And my heart broke because what I experienced with my father, I could not experience that with my children. And I used to see this place and say, but I had so many good family memories here. So when Mr. Benjamin was asked to take on the zoo, and he decided to make it his charity, so he opened the Preservation Foundation, the Hope Zoo, to protect animals. I came back here 3 years ago and my heart was lifted. This man has transformed this zoo from barren lands to tropical forest with animals in 5 years, and I just had to be part of it.
For Rebecca, a typical day at the zoo changes every day.
I begin the morning with a walk around of the zoo to ensure everything is clean. Cleanliness is the first thing on the list because we want to promote a clean, healthy environment, not just for the animals, but for all the Jamaicans that come here, because this is the nation's zoo. This is our zoo. And what Mr. Benjamin and the foundation is our biggest donor. And to have one person take on a responsibility like this, and I'm hoping to get the message across that we all need to take on the responsibility. Whenever you come to the zoo and you pay that entrance fee, that's your contribution to keep it open. That's you saying, thank you, I can share this with my children, I can share this with my family, and it is the nation's zoo. So my day starts with walking around, making sure the place is clean, and then I call whoever's responsible. We have zones, and so we have zone staff that are fabulous. I mean, they all have green thumbs.
The Hope Zoo is home to many species from all over the world.
We have at least 56 different types of species of animals, and they're growing. We are also the designated rescue center for wild animals in Jamaica. So inclusive of that, we have a breeding program for the Jamaica iguana, of which right here that program brought the iguana out of extinction. And it's recognized internationally in the world. I mean, we brought an actual iguana out of extinction. We're working on projects now, and we need the funding to bring the Jamaica boa out of endangered status, because unfortunately they are endangered, and the American crocodile. We actually have a rescue center that we have 3 crocodiles presently, and we're also trying to work on the conies and the giant swallowtail butterfly and hummingbirds. It changes every day because we're a rescue center, so we bring in iguanas. We've actually bred and released just about 300 iguanas into the wild with the program with NEPA. The first iguana that started the program in 1999, he's on display, and then all the baby iguanas are in the rescue center and research center. We have a lot of pigeons and owls and hawks because unfortunately when you bait a rat, something so simple in the environment, when you give them rat poison, you want to get rid of rats in your house, so you poison your house. When that rat goes out into the wild, it doesn't die depending on the poison. It takes about 3 days. A hawk will see a weak rat, eat it, and then they'll get sick, and then we end up getting the hawk or the owl. So we get them as better as we can, and then who we can release into the wild, we do. Some have broken wings or severely damaged, so we actually keep them here and we take them under. So we're also an animal hospital and retirement home. There's no 2 zebras that look alike. They're like a human's fingerprints. The stripes of a zebra are like human fingerprints. And I believe everybody is unique as well. Even if we may look the same or we come from the same country, everybody is unique. But anybody can become an animal lover. You just have to be around them. Try not kick a dog. I know when a dog comes to you, it's not because they want to annoy you. It's because they want affection and love or food. And just how we treat an animal, our children are the same way. When they come and want your attention, it's because they love you. You get unconditional love from an animal once they sense you love them back. And not many people can say that you can find unconditional love. And animals provide that once you really start being around them and looking at them. And that's something that we all need to learn. And it's not something you inherit, it's something you learn. And we hope that all the school children that come through this zoo and the teachers that come with them, that this is the importance of a zoo in Jamaica. That maybe if we have every child come through the zoo, our society will be kinder, more loving, patient, peaceful, and people wouldn't think that. They think, oh, it's, let's get rid of crime. How? You start with bringing them here and showing them to love them, respect them, accept them, and protect them.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents will say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Having a corporate event, seminar, awards show, conference, product launch, workshop or expo? Business Access TV is here to showcase your event. Contact our sales department at 908-0919, 906-6357 or 908-2775 for more information. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Go for God Family Church.
Today's message is for those of you who thought that Jesus was finished.
Inspiring messages.
I'm here to tell you today that you are excellent. God is excellent.
Empowerment from biblical motivation.
To be glorified means to endow with authority. A woman is a powerful, creative being.
Join Pastor Christopher Morgan and the Go for God team as we go for God.
We're taking you beyond our shores, across the region and around the world. Every week, BATV gives you in-depth reporting on the major stories that gripped headlines in the Caribbean and on the international scene. Join us Sundays for This Week Abroad. Business Access TV, serious about business at home and abroad.
Taking care of the 60 acres of land which the Hope Zoo occupies is not necessarily an easy task, but given the work ethics of the workers, the property is well managed.
I have to say, with all organizations I have worked with, the team here, because they're not staff, they're team. The team we have here, they all love what they're doing. And not everybody can say, I have a job that I love what I'm doing. And it shows. They take pride in every flower they plant, every tree that they plant. We plant trees every week. The zookeepers, they take care of their animals. They make sure they're well fed, they're well secured, I mean, even overprotected. I'm like, can't we take the snake out today? No, he was fed. I've never been so happy in my life working here because of the fact that the team, we all love what we do, and we're very thankful that we have the zoo here so that we can have these jobs.
A zookeeper works with animals. They get to interact with certain animals here, and we do help to medicate animals. You know, if it's a small injury and we can do it, we will do it. If it's something to do with the lion, the lioness, the zebras, we don't normally do that. We'll call in a vet and he will sort it out. When I was young, like really young, my grandmom, she had 14 dogs and 11 cats. And my godmom, she owned a pet store. So working around animals, it has just been in the family and stuff like that. After I was finished with high school, I didn't know what to do, and I did a landscaping program here at Hope Zoo. It was funded by JSIF, and after that I went to the curator. I told him that I wanted to volunteer for 2 weeks, and if he likes how I work, then I want a job here, because you know I love animals. And it so happened that the 2 weeks turned it out into like a month, and after a month he called me in a meeting telling me that he had accepted me as a staff member. Getting a chance to work around a number of animals, it is something good. So for one, I love feeding the animals. I love getting in contact with them, you know, so that is just my thing. I do get to pet some animals, but with a lion, I know it's dangerous. If it wasn't, I wouldn't mind. I would just maybe rub him, pet him, rub his head. The close I got though was when he came up to the fence, is to blow on him because he likes that. So when you blow on him, he'll just rub his head up to the fence, and you'll see, you'll enjoy it. It's nice. When I first got here, surprisingly, I wasn't afraid of any. I always want to do the wild animals. and stuff like that. So being afraid of any of them, no, I'm not afraid. Because I do have different days to work with different animals, I do train some of them, and if I'm not there to continue the training and someone else take over, when I get there, they won't be able to continue. I will have to start from day one again. For one, the animals won't do them anything at all, and we put here at Hope Zoo that you're supposed to love them, protect them, respect them, and accept them. They're wonderful, and they won't do you anything at all. Zookeeping is fun. It is overwhelming when, you know, you can hear a keeper saying, I want this for my animal, and when I do look what they want the best for their animal. So it's something good. It's something good to interact with the animals, coming together with the animal, and it's just wonderful.
Caring Hands asked Jody Ann to share her thoughts on animal cruelty.
Cruelty to animals, I just think that there should be a law, you know, lock them up. It's as easy as that. Persons do it with a crocodile. And this is one thing that they don't know. A crocodile will not harm you unless you trouble it, unless it feels threatened. That's the only way a crocodile would harm you, right? And I'm very, very happy that some persons from NEPA and UDC, they told me that, you know, if they see you abusing the crocodile, or if you have a crocodile at home, you know, without permission and any of that, that you will be fined up to $500 or more, $1,000, or you can get up to 1 year in prison, and that is good. I like that part of it. The animal that I want to see here is a mandrill and a giraffe.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
This is Weekend Business Report. Economic windfall.
Unsecured loans.
Alleged corruption.
Follows the closure. If they made this investment.
Brokers
strive to increase revenues.
He sought some answers.
Financial meltdown.
Here are the week's final numbers. Here's Garth. News Roundup.
Camille, it's back to you.
That's Weekend Business Report with me, Keneal Gale. Saturdays and Sundays.
There's only one recommendation for funding that is ever going to come from me, and that is funding from a bank.
This is the cost to build, and it includes every nail and screw for the building.
Our motto is building communities, building a nation.
Get in the know with the world of real estate with Business Access TV's Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point with Kalila Reynolds and Dennis Chung. Dissecting the issues, offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Having a corporate event, seminar, awards show, conference, product launch, workshop, or expo? Business Access TV is here to showcase your event. Contact our sales department at 908-0919, 906-6357, or 908-2775 for more information. Business Access TV, serious about business.
This is Saddam Quarry, another one of several zookeepers at the Nation's Zoo.
I started off when I was about 17. I did job experience here for 1.5 weeks in animal care and also 1.5 weeks in plants. After doing my job experience, I decided that I will apply for a job up here. So, because I've been doing very well here, so I wanted to see how it really felt to be in the animal kingdom, since I was also doing agriculture from high school. People don't understand that animals are almost like humans, but the only difference is that they can't speak to you. Just like a baby, you don't even know what a baby wants unless by just looking at their attitude. So, same thing with animals. Animals have a tendency, you can't even tell how they really feel. You can only decide how an animal really operates based on how they move. So if they're sick, you know they're not going to move around a lot. So you can detect how animals is by that. Typical routine during the morning is that we'll try and check on our animals as the first thing. Reason being, you're not here for approximately 12 hours, so you need to know what happened over that time period. So you do first thing, check your animals. After doing that, you try to get your food preps and also try your best to get animals their food on time because they're in captivity. It's great, in my eyes. You have your ups and you have your downs. You have a time you don't really like working with people. To be honest, it's very easier to work with animals than working with people, honestly. But to tell you, you have your rough times, especially when you have dangerous animals such as the lion, crocodiles, the ostrich that on and off due to mating season. You know, they'll attack you during mating season, so you have to try your best to be on guard on that. So, yeah, and you have to be very vigilant when you're working with the animals also. And it also helps to increase your capability to pick up on, let's say your observation skills. Very good at that. Over the years, I get the chance to work with many different types of animals till I get the chance to be working with the most dangerous sets now. And I'm also set to be the head keeper here, so I have to really know much about them. Also when they're on and off in their seasons. Well, I've been attacked by various types. As I've said, I work with a lot of different types of animals here. I got bitten by iguanas. I got charged by a deer. Well, I got a good amount. But to be honest, the thing is that when you look back at it, it's an experience. So you just have to learn from that and move on. I've worked with many different types of animals and on and off. Sometimes they have a good, sometimes they have a bad. But at the same time, same level of respect goes straight with the animals. Just like how you treat a child, the same way you should treat your animal. Reason being, it's still alive. So you have to love it.
School tours are prominent at Hope Zoo, and according to Saddam, school children are always excited to see the animals. But there is a problem.
Some are more excited to see the most dangerous sets, also the largest set of animals. But the biggest problem I really have with them is that most of them don't really pay attention towards the real history of the animals. So they come and they'll be asking you some questions that you maybe find really not the best, but you still have to answer it anyway, about why the animal is not moving around, why the animal is not doing these type of tricks. Yes, but main problem is that some of them don't really look at, say, what you see on TV is not really the same thing as you see in the wildlife. So that's the main problem. We really need to start with the adults before we can really take down the kids them. Because there are many teachers that don't really know much about animals and, you know, they're the role models. And if they don't understand anything about the animals, then you're not going to expect anything better from the kids. Because the same thing you push onto them is the same thing they're going to explode. So we have to start off with the teachers them, then we try and grab the kids. Animal cruelty is the same thing as human cruelty. That's how I see it. Reason being, animal life is the same value as our kids. So if you're going to kill an animal, that means you're really going to kill out our kids same way. Because it's a species. God made it, we have to love it. Well, I respect the fact that people say we have some animals that are not really cared for. We understand that. People don't really love animals in Jamaica that much. But at the same time, we still have a couple of people that will try their best to really increase the level on that.
Hope Zoo is a place that can teach children to be kinder and more patient. And we are launching the curriculum, and we hope that corporate Jamaica especially, but it doesn't have to be, it could be a family, anybody who remembers the zoo what it used to be, that we can now share it with our children and come on board and support the zoo so that we can share it for the generations to come and not let the zoo die again.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our business current affairs show, and weekend business report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Go for God Family Church.
Today's message is for those of you who thought that Jesus was finished.
Inspiring messages.
I'm here to tell you today that you are excellent. God is excellent.
Empowerment from biblical motivation.
To be glorified means to endow with authority. A woman is a powerful, creative being.
Join Pastor Christopher Morgan and the Go for God team as we go for God.
Every day you wake up, you have another opportunity to make this little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this: no more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives.